Welcome to the RFOX AMA, everyone. It's Lenny Clifford here, the host, with Benny Fairbank, the CEO and co-founder of RFOX. How are you, Benny?
Yeah, I'm doing well, mate. And yourself?
Doing great, thank you, this week. What's happening with RFOX this week?
A lot. It's hard to remember where we're up to as far as what you guys know versus what we've talked about so far. But effectively, we're getting closer with the internal testing of the video game for Quest, which is the mobile game. That's fantastic. That testing is coming along really well. We think it's going to be it's probably the first really solid product that we've had to market and to go out with. So really looking forward to user reactions to that game. I know that we've got a few people testing that for us now, and so far it's been really good. So very, very excited to spoil that, start doing some tournaments and playing that with you guys. The development for the Vault, so rocketing through the build out of Callinova and Komodo. We've done some polish to the lore as well, so the stories behind the avatars and each of the quarters, so a bit of the storyline behind that, which will bleed out very shortly, and excited to sort of share that, and getting closer to the release of the names for the third and fourth quarter, but also really just polishing TV and some of the functions for that, art generation tools for the NFT platform, making sure that we're ready for that. The project that's going to have a game deployed in their shop space is going to be the first person to go through, or the first company to go through, using some of the tools that we're about to release publicly. So yeah, lots going on.
Yeah, there sure is. And you mentioned COGs Quest. We'll leave a link below for anyone interested in playing it now and testing it out. Also, COGS Slam, you're now able to burn and trade in old COGs for the new edition that's coming out. Who's the partner on that?
Yeah, so basically what we've done is the Grimspiel collection's been put together and acts as an exercise or mechanism for deflation for the COGs. So what you're doing is you're actually you're burning your COGs, as you say. Generally speaking, you're going to burn 20 commons, 10 uncommons, 5 rares and 1 ultra rare, and in return you get a topper or a pack with 1 COG in it, which is a Grimspiel COG, and the designs are amazing, I believe. And what it's done so far is, I think we're up to 115,000 COGs have actually been burned, which is about 3.5% of the supply. So I think you can expect more of these types of additions, partnerships with other creators, and also the games that are coming in here are going to be using crafting through COGs as well. So you'll see a steady burn. You'll see some new COGs introduced, obviously, along the way, because they're needed for mechanisms and trade, crafting, upgrades, weapons, clothes redemptions, whatever it might be. And ultimately, you'll see a lot of the existing supply sort of get whittled down, which is awesome. But as far as partnerships are concerned, we've got a partnership coming up for a collection very shortly.
Okay, sure. Grimspiel, I'm not tale familiar with that. What is it exactly?
So Grimspiel is a collection of fairy tale characters, and that whole set, as I said, you've got 114,000 COGs burned out of the supply now, and it's a limited edition set that can also be redeemed for avatars in the upcoming sale if they're tubed and setted. Ultimately, you get 1 per 36. So for every 36 COGs that are burned, 1 new COG is created. And it was a good trial for that type of burn mechanism and system, but that paves the way for crafting, and use a gun and an arrow and a shield or whatever, and you will get XYZ. So there's already a game that we'll talk about very shortly that's coming in externally that will be using COGs to craft things for their game. And now we're in talks with other games on how to deploy COGs into their ecosystems as well. So you'll see the utility case for the ability to use these COGs in other games, which is what they are, keys to other games, very, very shortly. And you'll see more and more partners sort of come in, and we'll do more redemptions for new COGs as well.
Yeah, okay. That's sounding like there's some interesting things coming up for COGs. So some additional utility becoming available in the RFOX ecosystem for NFT creators, I guess. Will the Mint Lab be a feature on the NFT platform? So if you were to mint a collection there, then you could create further utility by putting your NFT designs onto a COG. So then the creator community has the opportunity to play to earn and also staking. So would that become like a fully white labeled offering to creators and brands?
Yeah, so things we're toying around with at the moment in the early stages are stuff like some games coming in and saying, we've got an NFT collection to deploy, and it might be that, for example, if you redeem a certain number of COGs to get their collection at no cost, that if they burn 100,000, for example, that we might say you can have a future set of 20,000 or 40,000 COGs as you get your own set as a creator. So this means that you have to be able to get rid of a certain number of COGs out of the system, and then you can have your own set or edition endorsed and fully branded through COGs. So that's one of the things that we're looking at. We're looking at a number of different options, but MintLab will feature very heavily in all of this game integration and the path forward for sure. It's kind of exciting because it started off as a very simple clone type of mechanism, and now it's going to have burning, crafting, upgrades, and all that type of stuff as well. So MintLab's going to be a big product for us. But if those people that have COGs are interested in Grimspiel, you can just go to cogs.gg and you can start. It'll walk you through the process for how to burn those COGs and redeem them for Grimspiel if you're interested.
Okay, all right. So yeah, that's exciting. What's coming up with MintLab, and starting to see starting to see the capabilities of what this can do. So I mentioned community before, and what the capabilities might be for creators on the NFT platform and creating a COG. Community engagement is one of the key areas of focus in new Web3 economic models. The legacy models are based on profit and control for the owners of the platform, and Web3 gives the creator the power to choose how to distribute royalties and revenue and reward and engage with the community and fans. So now with COGs, it's a cool game for a lot of people. And will RFOX create other games that are appealing to the audiences of the brands and creators that RFOX will be partnered with in the Vault and for the NFT platform? Because you could have basic online music and fashion games that could integrate branding and products, and imagine being rewarded with free clothes or products. That's got to be a really appealing proposition for many people.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that like we've always stated, we don't see ourselves as developing another 50 game titles in-house. We see ourselves as developing a few to sort of demonstrate what's possible, and then providing that SDK. And as I say, there's not really a need for that at this particular point in time, because we've already got established games coming to us now and saying, how do we integrate? What's the economic model? How does the system plug in? So the interest is already there. We're just got to refine the right type of models for these companies coming in. So what that does is, once we've got the ability to cater towards fashion, and we've got a fashion label that we'll launch through us maybe later this year, what happens is, as you've got that interest and you've got those types of crowds coming in, people start to sort of say, hey, I've got a game that does this, or I've got an app that does this, or a world that could be deployed there. So I think it's more about us sort of showcasing what's possible and then letting people that have established products and services click into what we've built. So I don't see ourselves building 50 more games titles. I see it being a limited number, and then the train will start with other companies coming in with established games.
Sure, okay. Makes sense. Now, moving along, I'm counting down the days to the full Callinova public launch. When will we see some RFOX official shops set up in Callinova to showcase and demo the capabilities and the opportunities for brands to come in?
Yeah, so we've got Callinova's obviously tracking along really well. We've already got a dirty version that we can put our headsets on and walk through, which is exciting. But we're also establishing a pretty broad template as well. So you've got your normal shop templates, but you've got a template that has like an area that could be used as a shop, an area for an office, and it's got like a viewing area. It's got an outdoor area with like a little lake and grass and all the rest of it. So what we'd do is deploy a template like that in the RFOX shops, which would allow us to be able to demonstrate all the different types of facets you can have in one environment. So it's a great chance to sort of demonstrate and showcase that template, and it's good if we're using one of our own as well. But that's being polished now. We've already, again, seen what that looks like. We're getting iterations every week. The space and the usage of the space and the way it looks is amazing, and now it's just a matter of polish and refinement.
In the Callinova build, the concept art doesn't really represent the art theme to me. Can you go over what the inspiration is behind the designs?
Yeah, so the public build, yes, you've seen it. It looks almost, it's got lots of vegetation and levels and all the rest of it. So if you actually have a look at some of the gallery styles or some of the art styles, once you actually see the shops underground and you see how it's all sort of built, it's got a lot of almost cement-like structures with vegetation. It does lead itself very well to art and the arts in general. So I think that, your helicopter view of your, like the drone view of the world of what it actually looks like is kind of very two-dimensional and flat. But once you get in there and walk around, there's more sort of this, it's almost a Colosseum type of feel of these big structures and lots of vegetation, as I say, and then water, and then your drop downs and your enclosed areas. So I think it is very arty, but just not necessarily like what we might be used to on a Melbourne street or, Madrid or Spain in 2022. It's a very, very specific style, and you'd expect that as an outer space station to be a little bit different to what we offer here as well. But it definitely combines all the elements of artistic creation and showcasing and displaying art.
Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense now that you've explained where that sort of inspiration comes for it. How do you think the citizen avatars and the lore will fit into the Callinova Quarter? They're very gamey and appealing to a certain audience. And to me, that seems to clash with the e-commerce aspect and the professional brands RFOX wants to attract. Do you think it matters, or how do you intend to get around it?
No, I think it's a great question. And I think that ultimately, you go back to video games and lore where it's been well used in video games. Some people really care about that. Other people just want a fighting sequence, or they just want to explore, or they just want to move around. I think what you'll see is that people will want to go to concerts, people want to socialize, people want to hang out. But it's important to understand that the area that you're doing that in has some sort of backdrop or story, or why is it here? Why are you and I standing right now on a piece of lawn and some cement floating on a space station? Like, why are we doing that? Why did that transpire? Now, for some people, they don't care. I just want to go to that shop. I want to buy that NFT collection, or I want to attend that drop, meet my star, go to a concert, whatever. I don't care. Just point me where to go and I'll go there. For other people that want to have more of a say in the governance and how that quarter develops and what happens, that's going to be of far more interest. So I think we go back to our original grassroots of saying that if a family of 5 people come in here, they may well separate into 5 different directions. You might have a game player, a collector, a shopper, an explorer. You're going to have different personality types coming in here, and that's the beautiful thing about the world, and it's a beautiful thing about the world that you build, is that there is no one type of person. Now, as far as brands come in, brands want audiences and crowds. So they want to market to an audience of people. But we've already got companies, Web3 based, that are in their infant stages that are keen to get their hands on the lore because they want to actually build something around that fits into that complements that. So you're going to get the extremes. You're going to get those that don't care, that just see a crowd and say, I want to market to those guys. And then you're also going to get the group of people that say, I want to leverage off of that story and the theme. But if you've got Bored Apes coming in here and many different collections coming in here, then ultimately we're in a situation where it's going to be different horses for different courses, and those people are not going to care about governance rights for citizens and all the rest of it as well. They're going to say, well, cool, I can use my Bored Ape in another environment. And that's extra utility. So I think that no one's sure of exactly how it will play out, but I would say that people are going to come in here for specifically different reasons.
Yeah, that actually makes sense because, when I go walking down the street in certain areas of town, I see people and I think, what planet are you from? So I guess...
and they must think, where does this weird guy with orange hair and a spacesuit come from?
How dare they judge me? Okay, yeah, and that's it. It's going to be. I think it'll make the experience really interesting. I'm sure going to enjoy seeing all sorts of different people inside the vault, and I'm sure there will be all sorts of different avatars down the track. So it'll make it a lot of fun. Oh, all right, Benny. Any last updates before we finish up?
I think, again, just keep an eye on the social channels. But again, you're part of the community. And if you're watching this video, you're obviously interested in RFOX. So what I would say is if you've got a mobile phone or a headset, please make sure that you follow the links and go in and register to test these products and services. Because if you are interested in the future of this project and where we're going, it's important that we get your feedback and that we understand your view and impression of the products and services we're putting out. Get in there, test it, show your support, and that helps everybody involved.
Yep, that's it. All right, we'll leave some links for everyone to get involved if interested. Thanks a lot for joining, everyone. Thanks, Benny. Good to see you again.
Thank you, mate. Have a great week.